All the information registered in the MP is stored and made available to generate a large number of reports and graphics which we will see later. One sample is the failure and root cause analysis, which allows us to identify the most recurrent problems and analyze the root causes which lead to the failure. The MP presents a graph with a comparative analysis of failures among different equipment, ordered from the greatest to the least number of incidences. In the example, we can see that the motors are the equipments with the greatest number of failures, with 27% of the total failures. Let's select the motor's equipment type to deepen the analysis. At the bottom, the MP shows a graph with the failure types in motors. Example: failure in bearings, winding of the engine, jamming due to dirt, loose connections, etc. In the graph of the example, we can see that 42% of the failure types in motors correspond to the bearings. Let's analyze the root cause for the failures in motors. The cause of the failures in motors is illustrated in this graph. Natural failure of parts due to use or aging. Lack of routine maintenance. Failure due to premature wear and tear of the parts. Incorrect installation of the spare parts. Non-defined causes. Continuing with the analysis, let's consult the motors with failures. These are the motors with failures. We see that engine M0009 is the equipment with the most failures reported. So, it would be interesting to analyze this equipment since it represents 67% of the problems in motors. We select the equipment. We can click here to consult the failure reports for the selected equipment. The MP shows the description of the failure reports of the selected equipment. By clicking here, we can consult more information regarding the failure, the damages and the report relative to the corrective job performed. Let's graph the root cause of the failures for the selected equipment. We can see that we have 3 failure root causes reported for this equipment. First, we can see the natural failure of the parts due to use or aging, which tells us the equipment is old. As a possible solution, we should analyze the possibility of changing the equipment or performing a greater renewal maintenance job for the equipment. Second, we see that the preventive maintenance has represented an important factor for the equipment failure. We should analyze whether the scheduled maintenance jobs have been performed on time and whether the maintenance plan proposed for the equipment is correct or not. Third, we discover that another cause for the failure has been the incorrect installation of the spare parts. We could solve the problem by training the maintenance personnel. As we have seen, this report leads to the identification of the most recurrent problems and root causes, providing elements which will help us in the decision-making process to solve or reduce the occurrence of failures.